What's going on, everybody? It's Phil here, and welcome to my full show review for Wrestlepalooza 2025. Today we're going to be going over each and every single match that took place at Wrestlepalooza and tell you guys what I liked, what I didn't like, and ultimately where I think WWE can go from here as we head towards Crown Jewel. Now, when it comes down to Wrestlepalooza being on the ESPN app, of course, this is WWE's first time on the ESPN app, now with their premium live events being on that platform. I watch with a VPN and Netflix, so my viewing experience when it comes down to Wrestlepalooza was a lot different than many others, who apparently, from what I heard, had a lot of issues when it comes down to the ESPN app and what WWE was doing with that platform moving forward. And yeah, it's definitely something to take a look at for sure. But we'll go over each and every single thing that happened at Wrestlepalooza 2025, and let's just see where this review takes us, shall we? As always, if you guys like what you see today, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you guys never miss another upload right here on the YouTube channel. Alright, that's enough for the intro. Let's talk about Wrestlepalooza. Before I go into the actual matches itself, when it comes down to WWE completely overhyping their shows is something that we all got to be talking about. Because Triple H goes on these shows with ESPN and promises major surprises, a spectacle beyond belief, and at the end of the day, the ESPN partnership with the WWE starting off hot as ever with everything that's going to be happening at Wrestlepalooza, and then when WWE actually doesn't deliver on what Triple H is promising us, it just leaves a bad look in terms of everything involving what WWE was trying to do with Wrestlepalooza. And to be completely honest, I don't even realistically think this show was all that bad. You know, there are some stuff to like about Wrestlepalooza, and I really do want you guys to know that because at some points in the show, I really enjoyed what WWE was doing. I think what WWE needs to do is just simply do better at trying to just provide the fan base what we ultimately want at the end of the day, and that is a great show, and not have WWE just focus on the outside noise. Just focus on yourself and allow yourself to truly show that you can put on a good product if you put your mindset to it. It's focusing on the outside noise and ultimately showing that you do care about what's going on outside of your bubble that's really putting a damper on what WWE Premium Live events have turned into. But enough about that, let's just talk about the matches. Starting off, we gotta talk about the matchup between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. When it came down to the actual presentation about what WWE was trying to provide for this matchup between John Cena and Brock Lesnar, I was actually getting really excited. Because when it comes down to the overall presentation, they made this match seem big. They made this a big match type of feel between John Cena and Brock Lesnar, considering we haven't seen this matchup in years. We had Paul Heyman come out there and really do a awesome introduction for Brock Lesnar as he was really trying to emphasize about what he was doing outside of the professional wrestling world, because obviously we are on ESPN, so him mentioning about him being a part of the NCAA and being a part of the UFC, being a former UFC world champion, I mean, they really went deep in detail about that, and I like that. But in terms of the actual match itself, yeah, we gotta talk. Because if you've seen one Brock Lesnar versus John Cena match, you've seen them all. Because at the end of the day, we got hit with 7 F5s and 3 attitude adjustments, and Brock Lesnar was able to pick up the victory. To me, this completely missed the mark on all levels and aspects, mainly because at the end of the day, this just truly deflated the crowd right off the gate, because this match was so bad. You have this big fight feel at the beginning of everything, and then you just give us a normal Brock Lesnar John Cena match. It just falls flat in every single aspect. The build to this match was never all that great either, because at the end of the day, we never really got an explanation from Brock Lesnar as to the reasons why he went after John Cena when he did. John Cena realistically only had one promo to talk about what was going on between him and Lesnar, so realistically, they both really didn't get any type of opportunity to really kind of expand upon this. And the fact that Brock Lesnar won this matchup here just truly makes me believe that WWE is going to be running this match back as soon as WWE Crown Jewel. Because trust me when I say we only have 5 more dates when it comes down to the John Cena retirement tour. And let's face it, his next appearance isn't until WWE Crown Jewel. There's no Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown appearances for John Cena on the road to Crown Jewel. So that right there immediately alarms me. This match was basically your John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2014, but just produced in the 2025 version of the WWE, and that to me just completely falls flat on all aspects. Now, yes, if this match does get brought back and does run itself back at WWE Crown Jewel, you can expect that WWE would give John Cena the victory so that we can kind of just end this once and for all, but I can't trust WWE right now with the booking of John Cena because with only 5 dates left, you gotta end this thing with Brock Lesnar so that WWE and John Cena can do whatever he wants to do after Crown Jewel is all said and done. So I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I just truly believe that this match was bad on all aspects. And if you are truly disappointed with what WWE did here with John Cena and what's going on with him for the rest of the days of his retirement tour, I do not blame you at all. Up next, let's talk about the tag team matchup between the Usos and the Brons of Division. First of all, I want to say this. When it comes down to LA Knight being the special guest referee for this matchup here, that was easily the best part of the entire match to me. Because when it comes down to it, WWE could truly capitalize on the potential LA Knight heel turn, and that was felt throughout the entire match last night. And the match itself between Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and the Usos was not a bad match whatsoever. Now, of course, with LA Knight being the special guest referee and him just kind of allowing the Usos and the Brons to do their own thing and allowing kind of weapons to be used like steel chairs and all of that to even happen, that, of course, added a different aspect to this matchup than what a lot of people were even thinking that the match could be. So, yeah, of course, that match is going to be a lot better than what people were kind of anticipating in terms of that aspect. But, honestly, this match was really well done between the Brons and the Usos, and I want you guys to know that. Now, don't get me wrong, when it comes down to the overall makeup of this match, this basically just feels like your typical Monday Night Raw tag team main event that we have normally gotten over the course of the last couple of weeks. But at the end of the day, they truly showed that the Brons of Division can really be something for the future of the tag team division within WWE. Now, in terms of the actual in-ring action, we saw a lot of chair shots be utilized, and at the end of the day, we saw Braun Breaker spear both the Usos through a table, which is awesome. And not only that, but we actually saw a lot of blood coming out of the head of Jey Uso when he accidentally hit himself with a steel chair, and man, that man was leaking a lot. But the best part about all of this is that Division 1, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed were able to defeat the Usos in this matchup here, and I could not be more happy about that. Not because I wanted to see the Usos lose, I love Jimmy and Jay, but at the end of the day, the Division really did need this win a lot more than the Usos did. You gotta give these guys wins, and at the end of the day, you gotta show that Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed could be the future of your WWE Tag Team division of Monday Night Raw, and WWE truly did show that, because now there's not even a question in my mind that these two should be holding on to World Tag Team Championship gold by defeating the Judgment Day as soon as Crown Jewel. Heck, even before that, if you really want to go down that route. We'll see what's next for the Brons for sure, especially when it comes down to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch possibly reforming with them to get the division back in full force. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that this was 1000% the right call to have the Brons win this matchup against the Usos and potentially, possibly, win the tag team titles in the future. We'll see in due time how it all plays out, but I overall enjoyed what the Brons and the Usos did in this tag team match. Up next, we had the vacated Women's World Championship on the line as Stephanie Vaquer took on IYO SKY. The only thing I did not like about this match was the crowd, and that's not even realistically their fault because after witnessing John Cena and Brock Lesnar, I would be pretty much of a dead crowd myself. So, yeah, it's definitely something to take a look at for sure, but the match was done brilliantly by both Stephanie Vaquer and IYO SKY. These two are truly two of the best women's professional wrestlers on the entire planet today, and at the end of the day, even though they did have a bad crowd to work with, their chemistry was easily some of the best that I've ever seen, and at the end of the day, it truly had a great atmosphere for the vacated Women's World Championship being on the line. They had a really good and overall effective story when it came down to this match as well, as Stephanie Vaquer was continuously going after IYO SKY's knee. And when it came down to the overall finish of this match with Stephanie Vaquer hitting her own version of the spiral tap, it really just showed that WWE is truly getting behind Stephanie Vaquer. WWE was telling you right out the gate that they were going to be talking and giving Stephanie Vaquer the biggest spotlights possible, and that was shown last night at WrestlePalooza when she ultimately won the Women's World Championship. And when she was able to hold that Women's World Championship up high and also give it to her father so that he can relish in the moment as well, it truly almost did bring a tear to my eye knowing that he traveled all the way from Chile just so that he can see his daughter win the Women's World title. It was truly a special moment between those two, and I could not be more proud of Stephanie for winning that title. Now, the thing is, when it comes down to Stephanie Vaquer and her future as Women's World Champion, I don't know. I don't know what's really coming next, because at the end of the day, WWE did actually show us that the Crown Jewel Championships are still in play. They will be defended at Crown Jewel, so it seems like Stephanie Vaquer's next challenger, or at least in terms of just what's going to be next for her, is Tiffany Stratton and WWE Women's Championship. And then when it comes down to what's after that and Crown Jewel, who knows what Stephanie Vaquer has lined up for her. But when it comes down to IYO SKY, she's teaming up with Rhea Ripley. She's going up against the Kabuki Warriors. So that right there, she has that to deal with. So we'll see what's really next when it comes down to the Women's World Champion in Stephanie Vaquer. But overall, the match was awesome. It was done beautifully. And at the end of the day, it just truly showed why both IYO SKY and Stephanie Vaquer are two of the best women's professional wrestlers on the entire planet. Now let's talk about the mixed tag team matchup between the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins and the Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch taking on CM Punk and the returning AJ Lee. Just saying this right out the gate. Look, at the end of the day, this match 1000% should have main evented WWE's WrestlePalooza. And it's not even close, because what we actually got in the main event between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre couldn't even compare to what we actually got in that mixed tag team match. This match was easily the best built match on the entire card. Not only that, but with the hype of AJ Lee's return to the WWE in over 10 years in terms of her being in ring, it just completely nailed on all aspects what this match was trying to accomplish and what it was going for. And WWE just nailed it out of the park with this. Now, of course, WWE does what WWE does, as they build towards the hot tag, and the hot tag was obviously to AJ Lee, and, you know, we saw CM Punk get completely annihilated by Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, for that matter, throughout the majority of this matchup here. But when that hot tag did come in to play, my God, did this entire matchup change dramatically in terms of the overall feel of how everything was going down, and at the end of the day, just the overall crowd aspect of this matchup as well. And one aspect that I did not believe that WWE was actually going to focus on within this match is that they actually had the women and the men go after each other quite a lot within this thing. We saw a lot of sharpshooters apply to one another, and not only that, but we saw a great sliced bread hit on Seth Rollins by AJ Lee, which ultimately landed a splash onto Becky Lynch as well. And then we saw a great double team maneuver when we saw both CM Punk and AJ Lee hit double knees, bulldogs, and shining wizards on both Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And I have to give credit where credit is due, because both Wade Barrett and Michael Cole were absolutely phenomenal all night long when it comes down to the overall commentary side of things, especially during this mixed tag team match with CM Punk, AJ Lee, Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch. I can't even believe I almost forgot to talk about this spot in the match as well, when Seth Rollins was about to get hit with a GTS from CM Punk on the English announce table, and then all of a sudden we see on the Spanish announce table both Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, where Becky actually threw AJ Lee onto CM Punk and Seth Rollins. The table broke. It looked absolutely brutal. Everybody sold their ass off when it comes down to this. And at the end of the day, it was just done beautifully well. It was just a really well done spot. And at the end of the day, it truly did just show that AJ Lee, she does not care what's happening within this run when it comes down to her final run within the WWE after 10 long years of being away. She's down for anything. Now, this ultimately led to the finish of the match where the Black Widow was locked in on Becky Lynch, and at the end of the day, the Women's Intercontinental Champion taps out to AJ Lee. From a storyline perspective, this made 100% sense because now it truly does look like Seth Rollins and CM Punk are most likely just going to go on to do their own thing, while at the end of the day, WWE is truly focusing on the AJ Lee and Becky Lynch side of things, and with AJ Lee tapping out Becky Lynch, we could be seeing that Women's Intercontinental Championship match as soon as possibly Crown Jewel, or at the end of the day, as we head into Survivor Series. Now, with the Crown Jewel Championship matches still being in play for Crown Jewel, Seth Rollins obviously has Cody Rhodes to worry about now that Cody retained the Undisputed WWE Championship, which we'll talk about in just a few short moments, but I still do not believe there is a world where CM Punk and Seth Rollins are done with each other yet, so it's probably going to pick up right after Crown Jewel is all said and done as we head into War Games. So overall, this match was easily, to me, the best match of the entire night. Everything was hit on all aspects, and at the end of the day, it just really made sense from a storyline perspective of what actually happened within this matchup here. So overall, for me, great stuff, no complaints. And now we gotta talk about that main event for the Undisputed WWE Championship as Cody Rhodes defended against Drew McIntyre. Now, from an overall in-ring perspective, when it comes down to this matchup between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, it wasn't a bad match by any means. It's just that when you kind of take a look at what else happened at WrestlePalooza, of course that mixed tag team match should have had more precedence of being the main event rather than this Undisputed WWE Championship match. And I'll even say the best spot of the entire match when it came down to Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre was when Drew McIntyre was about to hit Cody Rhodes with the Claymore through the screen of the announce table once again, but he was contemplating himself and the referee was getting in the way of that, which ultimately led to Drew McIntyre Claymoring his own knee through that screen, and that ultimately led to the finish of the match itself because of Drew McIntyre's knee being hurt throughout the rest of it. Drew McIntyre tried to hit the Claymore in the ring, but ultimately, because of the hurt knee and the shin, it just gave out on him. And that's when Cody Rhodes was able to take advantage, hit a crossroads, and win the match 1-2-3 to retain the Undisputed WWE Championship. And because of this match being the main event of the show, a lot of people, including myself, were expecting a lot to happen after the match took place, because when you set up these expectations of big surprises happening, the fact that you had this main event to show, everybody and their mother thought that something huge is going to be happening after Cody Rhodes retained the Undisputed WWE title. And considering nothing happened when it came down to the ending of this Cody Rhodes-Drew McIntyre matchup to end WrestlePalooza, it just leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouths. Now, of course, we set those expectations for ourselves when it comes down to WWE saying these things, and at the end of the day, it's truly up to us whether or not we want to buy into the hype that WWE tries to provide for us when it comes down to these WWE PLEs. But the fact that this was the first ever WWE Premium Live event under the new ESPN umbrella, what else did you want the fans to think? Of course, WWE fans were thinking that something huge is going to be happening after the Undisputed WWE title match, considering you made that the main event of the show. The flat ending to me just truly showed that this match should not have main evented the show, and at the end of the day, it truly should have just been that mixed tag team match, and I feel that if that mixed tag team match was the main event of the show would be talked about a lot more positively. WrestlePalooza may be the first ever WWE Premium Live event under the ESPN umbrella, but considering if you liked the show or whether you didn't, most fans are going to think of this show as a downer for the first step of them being a part of ESPN. Let me know your thoughts about WrestlePalooza down in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, stay safe, God bless, and peace.